All right, good Thursday evening, everyone. Here we go with weather for Weather Geeks. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get right to it. First of all, if you missed this morning on my weather blog, ericwfmj.com, I posted a blog post that kind of previews tomorrow's potential severe weather, which I'm going to cover in this video as well. But if you're a little more of a reader, want some more information, be sure and check out my blog post from this morning on ericwfmj.com. I also had kind of a long-form post on my Facebook page late this morning. If you head to my Facebook page, you can just go facebook.com/ericwfmj. I talked about kind of what happened last evening, and I eat a little crow this evening on 21 News at 6. I talked about how, I stood in front of the camera at 6 o'clock last night and kind of played down the thunderstorm threat for the evening. That ended up being the wrong call. The atmosphere humbles us sometimes, and last night was one of those nights where storms definitely got more intense than we had anticipated. So if you want to read about that and some of my thoughts on that, be sure to head over to my Facebook page and scroll down the feed a little bit, and you'll find that post from this morning. All right, fresh Drought Monitor put out today, and now all of northwest PA, the far northwestern corner anyway, and much of southern tier and western New York in a moderate drought. And actually the drought actually technically extends over into Ashtabula County, kind of in this kind of mustard yellow color. In the brighter color, we're not in a drought in the valley, but we're getting close. We're definitely in the abnormally dry range, despite the rain that we've had over the last couple of days. Here's a look at the 24-hour totals, taking into account what happened last night and what has happened today. Some nice thunderstorms today, especially in Columbiana County, leading to a quarter to a half an inch worth of rain down there. It was hot today, 88 this afternoon. New Philly 91, Hopkins Airport in Cleveland made it to 91 this afternoon. Pittsburgh, 86 degrees. All right, let's do a radar loop from early afternoon through when I was recording this at about 7:49 this evening. All right, we had a couple of rounds of storms that moved through. These were non-severe, but they did pack a punch, especially in parts of Columbiana County. Then look what happened this evening. Let me stop the animation. And around 6:37 this evening, extreme southern Columbiana, and more so down into Jefferson County, into the panhandle of West Virginia. Boy, this storm looks impressive, with tons of lightning down here. This storm has had a history of producing some hail as well, and the National Weather Service actually did issue a severe thunderstorm warning for it right around 7:35 or so this evening, technically clipping the East Liverpool area, even though the severe weather threat is south of there. But again, look at the tremendous amount of lightning down there when I recorded this at about 10 minutes until 8. Pretty hefty storm. All right, what's going to happen for the rest of the night tonight? Well, I think except in far southern Columbiana County, the vast majority of us will be dry this evening. Can't rule out a stray shower, but real small chance. All right, as we go into the overnight, so we're going to keep an eye on what's going on out to the west. Clusters of showers with embedded thunder are going to come east, and this will lead, I think, to a damp start to our Friday. So here's our future radar. By daybreak or so, some showers move through. Probably not much thunder, although I can't rule that out. So kind of a damp start to the day. And then we'll wait for the atmosphere to kind of reload. We'll have to get some sunshine trying to work in. And then what happens for the rest of the day tomorrow kind of remains to be seen. It's certainly enough moisture to squeeze out. The humidity today was just unbearable. We had dew points in some parts of the valley in the mid-70s today. Dew points at 10 till 8 this evening, 71 at the airport. When you get dew points between 72 and 75 degrees in and around the Youngstown area, that's kind of rare. Only happens a few times a summer, typically. All right, I posted this graphic earlier on today. It's amazing to me. This, to me, is the most common sense thing in the world. But it happens every single summer across the country, across the region. Children, pets, dying because their parents or their owners leave them in a car with the windows rolled up. It's just, to me, it's unfathomable how you could be that careless. And it is, I guess, surprising to some people just how hot the interior of your car can get if it's in the sun and the windows are rolled up. If it's a 90-degree day like we had today, within 10 minutes, your car is at 109 degrees. Within a half an hour, 124 degrees. So, I mean, it just gets insanely hot in a car if it's sitting out in the sun on these hot summer days. It's just amazing. All right, so I'll get off my soapbox on that subject, and we'll talk about Friday afternoon. All right, we've got this cold front approaching from the west. There's going to be some drier air that's going to try to work in, at least aloft. It's still going to be soupy down here at the surface, but a pocket of dry air aloft is going to work overhead. This is going to serve a little bit to inhibit a lot of thunderstorms from getting going tomorrow afternoon and evening. Now, notice at 1 o'clock our model here has some spotty stuff around, and I think that's a reasonable idea. So we go towards late afternoon and evening. The model's not showing much, though, with the approach of this front. And other models, some kind of have this dry area, some are a little beefier looking. We're going to allow for some thunderstorms tomorrow evening, and any thunderstorm that could get going could be strong, but it doesn't look like the coverage is going to be all that high, at least based on the latest modeling. But as you can see, or as we learned last night, these things can change in a relative hurry, so take this with a grain of salt. We'll be updating the forecast often, but nonetheless, something to keep an eye on for late in the afternoon into tomorrow evening. Then briefly about the weekend, front number 1 swings through. This is kind of a trough of low pressure lingering on Saturday, and Saturday probably starts with sun, but then kind of clouds up, I think, by noontime, and there might even be a shower or two Saturday afternoon, and there's going to be a breeze. It's going to be a much different feeling day on Saturday. Temperatures upper 70s to around 80 or so, but a gusty breeze, lower humidity, and clouds will make it feel a lot different than the preceding days. That trough swings east slowly by Sunday. Sunday probably starts with clouds, but as this high builds down from the north and west, we should see an increase in sun. Should be a really nice afternoon and evening on Sunday. Storm Prediction Center has the entire region in the slight risk tomorrow. That's the yellow color. So slight risk for us tomorrow. This is a tough forecast once again, though, because, again, the modeling is not showing a lot of coverage with these storms, even though the atmosphere will be ripe to produce some strong winds, perhaps some real hefty downpours like we saw today. And so, I've kind of put 4 to 10 p.m. as the main time frame that we're going to have to watch for the potential anyway. It's no slam dunk, but the potential is there for some strong to severe thunderstorms. So check the forecast often between now and then. So we get beyond the weekend. Boy, enjoy the relatively comfortable weekend because next week looks hot. Heat dome building across the southern tier of states. So we head towards the middle of next week. Here we are on the 13th, which is Wednesday. You've got this enormous high sitting down here over Texas with 105, 110 degree readings in Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas. Of course, we won't be that hot here, but we'll certainly be on the periphery of this. Here's your heat dome, and winds aloft will be generally out of the west, transporting some of that heat east. We're going to be, near 90 for at least a couple or a few days in a row, middle of next week. The heat might be trimmed a little bit by next weekend, but I think it's only a little bit. Maybe instead of 90, it's 85. True, long stretch of pretty classic summer weather coming up. We'll probably, register a few 90-degree days before next week, and next weekend is through. Thanks for watching tonight's Weather for Weather Geeks. More updates throughout the evening on social media. Check out my forecast tonight, if you will, on 21 News at 11. I'll see you then.